Hi everybody, we're big, we're bad, and we're back with another Frequently Asked Questions Friday. And this is a special one because it is our 400,000 subscriber giveaway. Wow, 400,000 subscribers. Thank you ever so much. This is truly marvelous. When we started this channel over 5 years ago, it was just something that I wanted to do while also, making records. And I felt like one of the things that was missing from YouTube when I went to it was people that actually made music for a living. I saw lots of professional YouTube channels and people teaching stuff, but I couldn't really ever find their music that they made. I couldn't find any of their stuff. So I thought it would be really great to do a channel where every day we show things and demo gear and write and record songs, all the fun things we do, in between actually making music. As you know, 90%, 99% of the gear in this room was here right at the beginning because I bought it with money I made from making music. I really didn't expect the overwhelming, incredible response that I've got from everyone here. This has been incredible. The Produce Like a Pro Academy that we came up with about 3 years ago now, it's just insane. It's full of an enormous amount of people who care about each other. The trolling there is non-existent. It is all completely supportive. It just goes to show that it's all about real engagement. And we have real engagement. You leave comments below. You leave great questions. You help each other. Everything is super positive and uplifting. This is an amazing community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. 400,000 whopping people. That's amazing. 400,000 people have subscribed. I cannot believe it. So Sweetwater are giving us prizes to give away. And what is the best thing about this? Thank you ever so much, Sweetwater, is they're going to do it worldwide. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, just like our mixing competitions. We don't just make it about Europe and America. We make it about the whole world. I mean, for instance, the guy that came in second, Drazen, is in a country that is excluded from many, many mixing competitions. He came in second. He got the front page of his national newspaper, and he messaged me this morning, and said to me that he has booked a full 2 months worth of work off of that. That is why we do this. That is why we do this. You are incredible. You have made this happen. You're all here supporting each other, leaving comments and questions, getting together, helping each other get better, and you are responsible. Because otherwise I'm just creating videos in a vacuum. It is really all about you. So thank you. So Sweetwater are going to ship all over the world. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you ever so much. All the products here are products I use. So I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away all of these. Now, these are all individual giveaways. So you can enter to win 5 different prizes. You've got 5 chances of winning the prizes. The blue Mixfire headphones, they're $300. Nice giveaway, thank you. Blue, and thank you. Actually, Sweetwater paid for this. Thank you, Sweetwater. And then Austrian Audio, the OC18 large diaphragm condenser microphone. This is a really nice giveaway because this is a $749 microphone. We did the review the other day of the 818, which records both sides of the capsule. It's basically exactly the same mic. It just doesn't record the back. It sounds phenomenal. Thank you ever so much. Austrian Audio, thank you ever so much. Sweetwater. Next up, something I use every single day of my life, the Audient ID4. We love Audient for many reasons. First of all, really good people. Simon, who owns and runs the company, has a history as long as your arm in professional audio, having headed up and run so many successful companies and designed so many incredible things. So he's an amazing person. But on the level, like, I'm going to call you out, Andy Allen over there is, sorry, Andy, now you're going to get a million emails, looks after every single one of our members that has bought an Audient product. He helps everybody out. He responds immediately. I called him this morning about next week's mixing competition, coming up soon, mixing competition, and said, I am filming a video in an hour and I want to include what prizes we can give away. And he went, okay. He gave me an okay in an hour. No 55 emails over 4 months to organize it. They are such an easy company to work with. And most importantly, and the reason why I use them, is I love the way they sound. Everything from the Evo 4 to the ID14 to the 44, all of this stuff is just really well made, great sounding mic pre's and an affordable unit. So thank you, Audient. So you can enter to win the ID4. Next up are, again, things I use. Pair of Cali LP6s. Absolutely love these. For me, they're like the real world test. And you remember when we did the Sonar Works and we flattened them all out and it was mind-boggling how good they can sound? Incredible. Great sounding monitors. Use them every single day and you see them in every video. So a pair of those. Last but no means least, and this is all coming from Sweetwater, is a Revstar RS320. I have one and you see me use it all of the time. So that's a Yamaha Revstar electric guitar. It's what I use every day. Before I started this video, only 5 minutes ago, I was playing a Revstar sitting over there. Practice what you preach. That's what my grandfather always told me. That's what my father told me. Practice what you preach. All of these are pieces of equipment that we use every single day. There's 5 prizes that you can win, 5 chances to win. Just enter to win. So thank you ever so much for the 400,000 subscribers. Thank you for following us. Thank you, most importantly, for being so positive and supportive of each other. That is huge. It's unparalleled. I don't see it anywhere else. It's remarkable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's do a couple of Fact Friday frequently asked questions. And here we go. Can a piece of music composed on a computer sound like it was recorded live? I think it comes down to a number of things. When you say recorded on a computer, I assume you mean a keyboard and you're playing in performances. Well, I think the most important response to that, which I think we can all get behind, is what you do with it after you played it. Okay, so what do I mean? Let's just say you're programming a drum beat. You got a whatever, and you overlay a hi-hat. Great, you put it in. What do you do now? Do you quantize it so it's exactly in time? Do you level it all out so every hit is donk, ga, donk, ga? That's really where it all starts to fall apart. You can, of course, pull in notes that are too far late or early, whatever they might be. We've done that for decades. People have done that with tape. You can go back literally 70s easily, and even in the 60s, some timing stuff. But in the 70s, and they would cut and move tape, especially in the disco era. They would cut and move like, oh, the kick drum's early, move it late. Kick drum's late, move it earlier. We've always done things like that. That's okay. Corrections, when you don't have the band there, I get. But if you're going to sit there and only quantize the drum so everything's perfectly, and then get rid of every single dynamic response of the drum, that's where you get into trouble. That's when a machine sounds like it plays it. So drums are difficult because drums, there's so many extra things that go on. So for instance, when a real drummer is playing, they might have some of those grace notes, some of those ghost notes. I hear them called ghost or grace notes. So, it's donk, ga, that stick can just bounce off that snare. Ga, ga. But it might not be that pronounced. It might not be a full, it might be just, and those ghost notes, those grace notes, as it were, can add like an energy in there. That's really almost and utterly impossible to do when you're programming drums. It's not entirely impossible because there may be loops in there that have those kind of grooves. But that's an indication of why program stuff does lack some of those wrongness. Because think about it, the action of going over and playing a ride cymbal. The drummer's playing that ride cymbal, but that ride cymbal's bleeding into other drums. There are some things that do that, but there's nothing quite like, just kind of like rolling off one cymbal, going onto a tom, maybe going onto another cymbal, and the way that brushes off, it's not a perfectly, it's a all of that subtlety, all of the way the drummer moves around a kit might brush things. They're not all performed like you would on a keyboard. My point is it's very, very difficult to do. It's easier when it's just straight ahead kick, snare, kick, snare, and just a hat playing straight eighths with occasional opening, That is okay, and that's easy because a lot of modern rock music is either programmed drums or it's played to sound like it's programmed drums. I mean, that's just kind of a reality. And if you're doing hip hop and EDM, you're probably not worried about those kind of like groovy kind of things. You just want big, powerful drums. So long answer. But the reality is like, yes, you can, but you're going to have to get in there and do some wrongness. Some of the wrong things I do, and I've talked about this several times before, so you can ignore me if you like, but the reality is like I do things like I'll take the drum bus and then feed it into an out of time distorted delay that's kind of going maybe playing a triplet against a straight 4/4 groove. So but it's slightly out of time and distorted, and maybe all the high ends rolled off, so it just kind of adds some energy and some weirdness to it. And that will get me feeling a little bit more like there's a live drummer in there. But try not to quantize it too much. Try not to take out every single dynamic and just tease things around. And then you've got a fighting chance of making it sound like a human being played it. And remember, if you are playing it on a keyboard, bass line, whatever it might be, you're triggering it. You are a human being and you are playing it. So you can capture that same thing. And if you're a half decent keyboard player, you can bring some groove and feel in there. And you can keep that consistent across all of the overdubs that you're doing on keys. Guitar players with MIDI pickups, same thing. Program it. Get into a groove. Grab a guitar, and like, you can have a groove like that and you can use it to trigger sounds. So there's definitely ways around, whether it be a keyboard, whether it be a guitar with a MIDI pickup, there's definitely ways around of preserving your feel and bringing feel rather than just quantizing and taking out all dynamics. So there is a challenge there for you, but if you've got any musicality, you can bring it to it. Is it going to replace 4 incredible musicians playing together in a room? No, but can you get as close as possible with some work and not just generically doing things? Then yeah, definitely. And I think I challenge you to do it. This would be a really good one. Anybody down here, forced through economics or time or whatever it is to use mainly programmed stuff, what do you do to maintain groove and feel when you're on your own just with a keyboard or just with some kind of MIDI controller? I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Great question. I've written a song that I do not want to use myself. Another band wants to use it. What should I ask in terms of money, credit, or percentage of revenues? As this is the first time this has happened, I'm unsure of what is to be expected. Well, I have to ask questions of you, which will help you negotiate this. Now you say, are they using your tracks? Now, if they're using your production, then you can be asked to be paid as a producer. You can also ask to get a royalty rate as a producer of the track. Traditionally, producers would get 3 points, possibly 4 points per song, depending on how successful and how in demand they were. But typically 3% was a very, very typical thing on a traditional record deal. Now, there's no such thing as those kind of deals. They're rare as, rocking horse poop, as my dad would say. The reality is that if you have produced a track, you have all the leverage. If they like your production and the singer just wants to sing on it, you could say, I charge $2,500 a song, pay me $2,500, and now you own that production and you just have to pay me a royalty on it. Okay, that's one way of working. If you're Max Martin, you're $65,000 or something like that. That's the reality. There's all different rates for different producers. Now, if you're saying that they just want to take the song you've written, meaning they heard a demo, acoustic vocal, or they want to do their own version of it and going with a different producer and do something different with it, that's a whole different ball of wax. I mean, the reality is like you as the songwriter will own 100% of the song regardless, unless somebody co-writes with you, changes something significantly, and you agree to split the song. If somebody takes a song and rewrites the chorus and comes to you and says, I've rewritten the chorus, and you mutually agree that it is a benefit and has improved the song, then you might cut them in as a 25% writer of the song, maybe 50% if it's unbelievable and it's made a hit out of it. The reality is that you own the leverage because you have the song. But you'd be foolish not to make somebody a writer if it stops it from being released. It's always a bit of a negotiation. Now, getting back to the point, if you have written a song 100%, they don't change it, but they don't use your demo, they don't use your production, there isn't really a precedent for an unknown writer to get paid. Essentially, they will just cut the song and then you will get 100% of the publishing and 100% of the writer's side. And the song will be registered in your name. You will go to your ASCAP, your BMI, your CSAC, whatever performing rights society you use. And you will go there and you will write down the release of the song and you will say, who the artist was, who released it. If it was a label, if it was independent, you'll put down every single piece of pertinent information you can and they will track it. And if it does eventually get radio play, you will get paid. Also, you make sure that you have a contract if it's an independent artist and that they pay you your earnings on that. Now, the reality is on small sales of independent artists, this is almost impossible to track. I should and could and will do a video on this stuff in much, much greater detail than we're just talking about at the moment. But if it's just a local band and they want to cover it, and they're just taking your demo and making a new song, if it hasn't been released yet, you can say no. Frankly, you can say no. But there's not really a downside to having somebody cover your song. Frankly, it's growing the potential of you making revenue. I think the difference is whether you've produced it and you can charge for that. Now, I have heard people having demos. When I worked at labels, people would bring in demos, they produce the track up, and several people would want the song. Then, now we're talking money. Now it's like, well, if you want the song, you have to pay me this fee, that fee, etc. And they would take the demo and then maybe embellish on it. A hit song, in all reality, a bona fide hit song that people hear and go, wow, I want to cover that. I want that track. Just all this conversation, all bets are off. Suddenly, they'll do whatever. There's a very famous instance of a solo singer getting their song cut by a very famous singer, and it becomes a massive hit. And that solo singer goes back to the label and says, that was my song. That was supposed to be me. I was supposed to have that as a hit song. I knew it was a hit song. And that label owner then signed that singer to a solo deal. And that was part of the deal of them having that song for release. So my point is like, the leverage is yours if you have an amazing song. And if you've produced it and they want a production, then of course you can charge whatever you think is the going rate for you to produce the song. And unless they write on it and you love what they've written and you're willing as the owner of the song to cut them as a writer, you remain 100% the sole publisher and writer on that song unless you've sold your publishing. Okay, this is going to create a lot more discussion, and I do think we need to do, and I will do a video on this. It's a massive subject, and I've watched many, many videos on this, a couple very successful that get it completely and utterly wrong because they probably haven't been in these situations. There's a lot of BS talked about this kind of stuff and very confusing information. I'm happy to get into discussions down here with you. All I can say is make sure you register your song with a PRO. You need to register it with that. You need to make sure that if you've written a song that you register it. Copywriting a song is a whole other discussion because music is not the same as other things. And we can get into those discussions as well. But ultimately, if you have a hit song, you have a hit song. You'd be pretty amazed what doors will open to you if somebody hears your song and is like, wow. And something that's undeniable is undeniable. That's why it's called undeniable. Writing album tracks, everybody writes album tracks. If you want to get a song on somebody's record, write a hit song. I know that sounds really stupid to say, but that's the difference. Anyway, lots of massive discussions going on. Really excited to hear what you think. Thank you ever so much for 4 whopping 100,000 subscribers. It's a big deal for us. It really is, because our channel is not, being a guy that works in music all day, I don't always have the perfect haircut. I don't script everything. I don't suddenly go to quiet, talking voice and do these kind of faces and look around and all this kind of stuff. I'm just a guy making music just like you. And all I want to do is show you, you can do it. I've done it. I didn't go to school for this. I didn't really know. Well, I saw my friends grew up and we all got into music, but I didn't have a uncle that was successful or a family member. You know, I'm just a regular dude, quite frankly, who just worked really hard and built this all up. I feel very, very humbled. My dad, God bless him, was a painter and a sculptor, and there was 5 of us in a 2-bedroom, 654 square foot bungalow in England. 654 square feet, 5 of us, 2 bedrooms. That's how I grew up. Oh, and also it was semi-detached, means it was 2 little bungalows stuck together. And I don't wear that like a badge of pride of like I didn't grow up with much money. I'm happy I didn't. I grew up with an arts-based family. My dad loved great music and art, and that got me inspired, and that's why I'm here now. So anything like that, I just see as a bonus. And now I get to share my experience, strength and hope with you, and you get to share it with me. It's amazing. You're an incredible community. Thank you ever so much for 400,000 whopping subscribers. Don't forget to enter to win blue Mixfire headphones, Austrian OC18 large diaphragm condenser microphone, Audient ID4, a pair of Cali LP6 speakers, and a Yamaha Revstar RS320. You all rock. Thank you ever so much. I'm humbled by your support. It blows me away every day. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing. Thank you.